All right, now, while the petrol price has hit record highs, the state of some of our roads remains a complete nightmare for motorists. Our reporters are on the roads in the country's biggest metros to give us details. What are people experiencing there? Well, Linda Kushlekhulu has been taking a look at potholes around Johannesburg. We'll find him a little later on. Monique Mortlock is in Dunoon in Cape Town with an update on neglected township roads. And Mawande Keswa is keeping an eye in Durban and the construction on the N2, N3 freeway, which could take up to 10 years to complete. Well, let's head on over to Monique Mortlock first. Monique, good morning. And those who live in Johannesburg, yes, we've been sort of crying about this for years, the damage to our cars, tires, you name it. What's the experiences in Cape Town? What are people complaining about there when it comes to roads?
I'm looking at various townships across Cape Town where residents say that the roads have been neglected, and here in Dunoon I thought it would be wise to start here, because when we were here a couple of months ago, there was a protest by residents calling on the city of Cape Town to fix the pothole-ridden roads as well as the sewage systems in the area, because they had sewage flowing into the roads, and not only into the roads but into people's houses. When we got to this street in particular, we saw a resident, Nontombi Tofile, actually sweeping some of the sewage water, which my colleague Asanda Javu is showing you, sweeping the sewage water into the drains, because what happens is when there's a sewage overflow, the drains get blocked and the sewage flows into her home. Mr. File, can I just ask you to come closer to me and just tell me, when we got here this morning, what were you doing and how long have you been doing this for?
Ndishayela yonke le mihla lamanzi ade agcwala phambi kwendlu, ndiwatshove le greyini nalo greyini ibroke, amanzi angahambi, abantwana baphefumla lento kule ndawo sihlala kuyo apha eDanuni.
And you also mentioned that ever since you've been living here, this has been a problem. And how bad does it get in winter when it's the rainy season?
Xa kunetha kuba uwesi kubroka nezo greyini, amanzi angahambi, kube kwenzima mpela kungaphumeki nasendlini. Sincela kubekwa amatye xa baphungayo abantu bayakwazi ukuphuma endlini.
Thank you, Mum. I'm just going to ask you to move close to me so that our viewers can see the extent of the problem. Mr. File, like many of the residents in this road, just armed with a broomstick, they have become accustomed to sweeping this water that you see here, sweeping it into the drains, unblocking it themselves. Now, I have to say that the last time we were here and we asked the City of Cape Town for comment, they mentioned to us that they attend to these sewage problems on a regular basis, but there are various factors that sometimes interrupt service. Like, for example, they mentioned there are residents who sometimes throw oils, fats, all sorts of items that cause these blockages in the drains. They also mentioned the fact that there are certain areas that are densely populated, overcrowded, and also when there are violent protests, this also hampers service. But one thing that we heard from a community leader a little earlier, Ms. Macy Makua Mpukane, she was one of the leaders who handed that memorandum in September at the Killarney depot, and she mentioned to us that she hasn't yet received a response to that memorandum, that nothing much has changed. Even when we were driving through, it was very difficult just to navigate on these roads, trying to move around some of these big potholes. And you see, as my colleague Asanda Javu just showed you, residents putting bricks there, sand there, some what looks like planks there as well, just to stop cars from driving into these holes and damaging the vehicles.
Much. And yes, we find it difficult to believe that people actually live in those conditions. But that is what is happening out there. She's in Dunoon in Cape Town. Let's head on.